Thompsons were a family of four who loved the outdoors. They decided to spend a weekend hiking in the Whispering Woods, a dense forest known for its beauty and tranquility. Sam, the father, had heard tales of the woods being haunted, but he dismissed them as mere folklore. His wife, Emily, along with their two children, Ben and Lucy, were excited for the adventure. They set up camp near a clear stream on the first night. The air was crisp, and the forest seemed alive with the sounds of nature. As they sat around the campfire, roasting marshmallows, Sam told the kids about the legends of the Whispering Woods. Some people say there are creatures called skinwalkers here, Sam said with a grin, trying to spook his children. They can change their shape and mimic the voices of loved ones to lure you into the forest. Lucy shivered and snuggled closer to her mother. Ben, on the other hand, rolled his eyes. "Come on, Dad. You don't really believe that, do you?" Sam laughed. "Of course not. They're just stories." Later that night, after everyone had gone to bed, Sam awoke to the sound of rustling leaves. He sat up, peering out of the tent. The campfire had died down to embers, casting a faint glow around the campsite. He saw nothing unusual and chalked it up to the wind or an animal. The next day, they continued their hike deeper into the forest. As they trekked through the dense foliage, Emily noticed strange footprints on the trail. They looked like deer tracks, but something about them seemed off. They were too large and irregular. "Sam, look at these," she said, pointing at the tracks. Sam frowned. "That's odd. Maybe it's a deer with a deformed hoof or something." As they moved on, the forest grew quieter. The usual sounds of birds and insects were absent, replaced by an eerie silence. Ben and Lucy, usually full of energy, walked closer to their parents, sensing the growing unease. By late afternoon, they found a spot to set up camp for the night. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows, the forest seemed to come alive with whispers. The wind rustled the leaves, creating an unnerving symphony. After dinner, they sat around the campfire once more. Sam tried to lighten the mood with another story, but the unease was palpable. The whispers seemed to grow louder, almost as if the forest was speaking to them. Suddenly, they heard a voice calling from the darkness. "Ben! Lucy, help me!" It was Emily's voice, but she was sitting right beside them, her face pale with fear. "What the hell was that?" Sam whispered, his heart racing. Emily clutched her children tightly. "We need to get out of here." As they hurried to pack their things, the voice continued to call, now mingled with other familiar voices. "Sam! Emily!" The voices seemed to come from all around them, echoing through the trees. Panic set in as they realized they were not alone. Something was out there, watching them. They grabbed their flashlights and started down the trail, but the forest seemed to close in around them. The trees loomed tall and menacing, their branches like skeletal arms reaching out. The whispers grew louder, more insistent. "Come to us." Sam led the way, flashlight beam cutting through the darkness. He felt a presence following them, shadows flitting just beyond the edge of the light. "Keep moving," he urged his family, trying to stay calm. Suddenly, Lucy screamed. A figure stepped out onto the trail ahead of them. It looked like a deer, but its eyes were unnaturally bright, almost human. The creature stood on two legs, its form shifting and grotesque. "Run!" Sam shouted, pushing his family forward. They sprinted through the forest, the whispers now a cacophony of malevolent voices. The creature gave chase, its movements swift and unnatural. The Thompsons ran until their lungs burned and their legs felt like lead. Finally, they broke through the tree line, stumbling onto a road. A passing car screeched to a halt, and the driver, a concerned hiker, helped them into the vehicle. As they drove away, Sam glanced back at the forest. The creature stood at the edge, watching them with those eerie, human-like eyes. The whispers faded, but the fear remained. The Thompsons never returned to the Whispering Woods. The legend of the Skinwalker became all too real for them, a haunting reminder of the darkness that lurks just beyond the light.